Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. This is the channel where we buy and sell comics at affordable prices. So we do cool comics for cool prices. Um, but today I kind of want to do something a little bit different. I want to do a discussion about the recent news about Sony no longer doing physical discs for their games on the PlayStation after 2028. And I want to have the discussion of whether it's comics next. Um, to go to the back to the game side of it, the reason I believe this is happening is it's my fault, it's your fault, it's every game consumer's fault. Year on year for the past probably 10 years, digital has outperformed physical in terms of sales, but also the gap keeps getting wider and wider between physical and digital. You're going to hear so much noise right now about, oh no, this isn't good, blah 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 blah. And the thing is, go ask them. So, is your library completely physical? It won't be. There'll be nobody out there that's got a completely physical collection. Definitely in this new generation, anyway, in this new PS5, PS4 era. And the reason it's happening is convenience. Physical media is dwindling. I would say I used to have a massive DVD collection, Blu-rays, like it was stupid, and then Netflix came. Now you got Disney Plus, all that kind of stuff, and it just went. I just looked at it one day and went, "This is just clutter now. That it's just clutter." And I just put it on CX. I said a few to my friends, pick what you want. If you want anything, they picked one or two things. And then they all went to CX for pennies on the pound probably of what I paid for them. I don't feel like there was the uproar when I feel like music's pretty much gone digital. But music's quite good. We'll come back to music though with a comparison later. But I mean, I generally couldn't tell you someone who's bought a CD. And I mean, why would you? The price of a CD when I would buy CDs is the price of what Spotify is per month. So if you wanted all of music, Spotify's a deal. Like it's a bargain. So we lost music, physical media, kind of movies. I think that'll become obsolete next. And then games is going that way. We've heard it from PlayStation and we've heard it from Xbox. I feel like Nintendo won't follow the trend as quickly. They'll be a few years behind them. Nintendo always like to go a different direction. You've seen it when you compare the Wii to the you can go even further back. When everybody was doing discs, they were still on cartridges. When everybody was doing like the HD graphics, they stuck to what they knew and they just went with innovative controls, and they still do that now. So PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, they're high performing controller based systems, and you got the Switch, which is its own kettle of fish altogether. So I do think Nintendo's gonna probably hold out for another couple of years. But then, they were. You could argue they were one of the first ones to really push it because they were doing codes and boxes as well. But I don't think they'll completely rule it out for a lot longer. At least a year. I think I give them an extra year. But it is sad to see. I mean, I remember I was the one who would buy a game and read the manual, coming back. So I was flabbergasted when they stopped doing manuals. I buy a lot of digital. It makes sense for me because I like to play co-op games with my partner Helen, or even if it's a single player game, we'll sometimes play the same game side by side. I game share with my friends. Digital really has a massive advantage. I do like a steelbook from time to time though. In fact, I can see one right here. Final Fantasy fan. You've noticed the Kingdom Hearts map Final Fantasy fan as well. This is Crisis Core. And I mean, it's a shame that stuff like this will be dying. But this is, a prime example of where physical is sometimes just a little bit weird. I pre-ordered this from Game, and when I got it, I still got the box. Let me just get back to you. There we go. Sorry. I still got this. So they gave me this, and then they went, "Here's your steelbook, like, to go with it." And it's kind of like, I'd have thought this would have just came in this. So, it's weird. I mean, it could hold the disc if I wanted it to, but I just always thought that was weird. But things like, so this, I got a special edition steelbook, and technically it didn't even come with the disc. I got this box extras. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's just weird. I mean, but like, digital gone will be the days of I hope so. I just think about it now. Some of the big releases in my time, what I always remember is Modern Warfare 2 on the PS3 or Xbox 360. You had to hunt from shop to shop to find it. We couldn't find it anywhere. I think in the end we got from Morrison's. It was like the last copy and stuff like that. I guess gone is the days of that. But is it cheaper? I think sometimes. I put the games in my wish list. I wait for the 90% off, and boom. So I can't say that I am super sad about this. I'm not diehard physical media. I am more sad about there not being a choice for the consumer. That's what I don't like. Because everybody's like, oh, they're just going to take your games. I don't think physical actually combats that. We all know that disc is not got the game on it. You'd be lucky if that disc has about 3 megabytes of data on it. It's a license code. So they still want to take the game away. That would just be a dead disc. I don't think physical media will protect you from them removing games, if I'm just being honest. But yeah, the choice is sad. But yeah, and it's like, I can't think of other example. This GTA 6 thing, and pre-ordering a physical copy and it won't come with a disc, it comes with the download code. That's just a bit insane. I think the whole GTA 6 thing has been insane. I can't understand why you pre-order something digital. It ain't running out, boys. Like, it'll be there on the release day. If it came out with extra stuff for pre-ordering, then I'm all for that. Totally get it, an incentive. But from the looks of it, I think if you want extra stuff, that Ultimate Edition. I overhyped. I think GT is now overhyped. It's too big for me. Bring back 3 Vice City and San Andreas. That's the highlight of Grand Theft Auto for me. So I'll never die in the hell of Grand Theft Auto 5 and all. That's the best thing since ever. So it's the world's changing with physical media, but I think like books. Then we'll compare books. I mean, I don't know much about the book market, but I would think things like where do you store 100 books? Like, you can't be a book collector. Well, you can be a book collector, but that just seems like it'd be such a space thing as well. It's products like Kindle and stuff like that, giving you the ability to have thousands of books all in this little device. That's a fantastic idea. So I'm probably really against the grain here, but I'm not against the digital movement. I think it makes it more accessible to those with facilities. I just think it's about pro-choice. removing the option of physical media is what is the bit I don't like. But I think it'd be really good if physical became something more limited. If they really hype, I think if you had digital for your basic editions, but you love your special editions, your steelbooks, your figurines, that's what they need to capitalize on. And why not just keep it on a disc? And we all know it just unlocks a license code anyway. So just, I don't see the advantage of just scrapping discs altogether. I can't see why Sony doesn't see that. That they could easily, they do already, but like the Spider-Man 2 special edition had the Venom statue and stuff like that. Ace, just keep doing that. But just give them the disc with a pattern on it. Like, that's all they really want. I can't see why that's such a deal breaker, but you'll make the big figurine and all this kind of stuff. It's just, the world's going a bit crazy. But comic books. So we hear that like year on year of local shops closing and things like this, but I did a little bit of research into it, not extensive, but it was about the last 5 years of comic book sales. So I started from 2020, to be fair, but that's a write-off straight away because COVID. COVID just took everything we know of logic and it just went whoop and just flipped on its head. And so that was a really low point for comics, but that was a really low point for everything. So you can brush that off. But apparently there was something called the COVID bounce. And it seen an all-time high even from pre-COVID. And what's interesting is that from what I can tell from the information, single issues have done fine. They've managed to bounce back from COVID and exceeded from pre-COVID. But what's really taken off is collector's editions, omnibuses, manga, box sets, things like that. So is comics going to go the same way? And you do have facilities like this Marvel Unlimited, and you've got Kindle again that you can buy all these digitally. It just doesn't seem the same. It doesn't quite seem like the same kettle of fish for me. But if you want to look at sales from the 90s and 2000s, I think obviously that era, they overprinted everything. So if you say, like, comics have dropped in printing from 20 years ago, yeah, that's because they got carried away with it. I think what we need to protect is probably your local comic book shop. People probably buy online too much. I know that sounds really hypocritical because that's what this channel is. But I mean, the thing is, sometimes they don't help themselves. Sounds bad. I'm not a fan of my local comic book store. There's just a few. There's a few things they do that just don't quite. I don't quite agree with. But I'm not here to talk about that. Unfortunately, ours are the one that did close, which was my preference. So I order online because my closest one's now hours away. Because I do occasionally buy stuff for myself. Side note, I pre-ordered 2 comics today because I think they're gonna sell it like mad. My guilty pleasure is the Muppets. I missed the news of the Muppet Noirs run, so I kind of wanted all 4, or I wanted none. But for their anniversary this year, they're doing the Muppets Takes Over the Marvel Universe, and I have bought 2 of them. I bought the Muppets Treasure Island one because if you're my age, you know that's one of the best ones ever. It's not necessarily the perfect film, but it's just good. It's just good. And then there's another one with Gonzo riding his bike next to Ghost Rider, and it's just amazing. Check them out. Marvel Takes Over the Muppets Universe. Wrong around. Muppets Take Over the Marvel Universe, coming out in September. Buy them, and I think they're going to be gone and upsold, resold online for stupid money straight away. But anyway, so yeah, I would see that's like variants is there's my example. How do you do digital variants? Like you can have a digital comic collection and go, oh, look at these different pixels. It'd be like if they turned trading cards digitally. I know there is, but it's definitely not got the success of physical. I mean, look how much Pokemon's boomed, um, and like there's still a place for physical things in life. It's just about convenience and what the enjoyment is of them. And I guess when it came to films, for example, the enjoyment for most people wasn't the DVD or the physical box. It was the movie itself they watched. So again, that's now more convenient because there's now 100,000s on Netflix and on demand and things like that. And I think games is the same. You if you get more enjoyment from the box of your game than actually playing your game, I think you're missing a lot of the point. There's some digital only releases that are fantastic. And if you're going to be like, I'm not buying it because it's on digital only, that's me a pass. I think that's really ignorant. You could be missing out on great games from smaller studios who just don't have the budget to do all the distribution and stuff. But with comics, it's an art form, right? And you see, if we go back to books, I just don't think there's that. I know people love to hold a book. That's probably one of the things. I just love to hold a good book. You hear that a lot. But you can get some cover art in books, I guess. But I don't think that's quite what people are looking at the media itself for. They're not in the media to see pretty pictures. That's not what they're there for that media. But with comics, you are interested in the art. You are interested in the design. I mean, sure, you can read the story, and if it's good storylines, but a writer for comics is never going to have the same articulation, I guess, as I probably made that word up, as a full-on novel writer. But you want to see how he's managed to bring the animation and drawing and art style to life. And I think that's where comics will have still a place of physical media. I think you may continue to see a downcline in print runs from your single issues, monthly floppy issues. But I think, variants, CGC, they're also going to have a place. I wouldn't panic about it for a long time. I think it's the same as cards. I can't see TCG really going anywhere. Imagine if Pokemon came out tomorrow, went from 2028, all cards would be digital. I think that lead balloon would go a lot heavier than what Sony said. I think that one would... that would not go well. Riots in Japan. Riots. Riots here. I mean, riots everywhere. So when it comes to comics, I think it'll become more elusive, but I just think people seem to be collecting more these days, so that's why I didn't quite put music in the same category, because people, I don't know where it came from, but vinyl seemed to make a bounce back, right? But it became a more premium product, so you probably, I don't know, I'm old, but I'm not old enough to know when you bought records, so this information could be completely wrong. But I assume records were a lot cheaper when they were the mainstream than they are now. But people go pick up a couple records and be on your way. Go try and pick up a couple records now. It's like, what? Oh, they're offered 2 for $55 in HMV. It's like, whoa. So I think comics could shift that way, as in they become more premium product. You can read and casually read online, but you want to collect them. It's like the variant market will just be the same, and all the sub cover market will be where it's at. But maybe your cover A's will be much more smaller runs than what they are now, and maybe the price might go up when that happens. But the price is always going to go up. Inflation and limiting runs is always going to happen. But I would say my overall verdict: really sad there's not the choice for customers to go physical or digital media anymore, or there will be in 2028. But I do think it's on us. We went that way. We kept buying digital, so they went, well, okay, fine, we'll just go with the market. You kind of reap. What's it called? You made your bed. We made our bed. Now we're gonna lie in it. I hope that never happens with comics because I love to hold a comic. I love to read a comic. I think some of the omnibuses and that, even they have a nice collector's feel to them. And it just feels so nice to even have a hardcover and stuff like that. So yeah, and it's like books, you know, they still have a choice between physical, and sometimes they have limited editions as well of books. So they've kind of gone that way where it's maybe there's not as many books as there may have been in the 80s or whatever, but you get nicer books that you can go buy for your little book collection if you've got. But yeah, I see it going more limited, more elusive, and kind of, if you want physical, that's the collector market. The reader market will go digital. It's probably already like that. But I just hope it doesn't ever get to the point where it prices out the casual collector. I don't want to see monthly issues going to £10 and stupid stuff like that, because I think it can be ridiculous when you want all your characters at £4. I mean, here's an example. I bought those 2 Muppet things. It's just a one shot. It'll probably be a bumper issue, right enough. It is an anniversary issue. It cost me £12 for 2 comic books. I was like, why don't they have my prices? That would have been like, 10 comic books or something stupid. But, I love the Muppets. That's my Achilles heel. But yeah, it's a bit. I was just hoping they'd get more of a choice on the matter. But anyway, I'll basically take you into today's sales, and then I'll give you a little overview of what we're going to be doing next week. So, it happened again. So we've got 3 orders here. Someone very quickly picked up the Avengers #1 when I re-uploaded it. Somebody bought a copy of the newest run of Batman, #4. Then our guy came back again and bought 50. Now, I did say I wouldn't, I would do it 60, but he asked for 50. When I looked at the 50 he put together, there was a lot of my older listings, which is what I talked about last time, how I was a bit meh about him not taking old listings. But this time he took a lot of my older listings, so that saves me a lot of relisting. I actually don't know if I'm ever going to bother relisting. Maybe I'll do 1 or 2 a week just to slowly filter it into nicer pictures. But yeah, so we'll go through these 50. I'm going to see if I can find a quicker way to do it for you guys. But we've got The Thing in Human Torch, Avengers Empire, Hulk, X-Men Genesis, a Thor variant, Thing. Let's turn that. That's probably my problem. More Thing comics. Quite a few. So this was like an 8-part miniseries. I think I only got 1 of them left. Captain Marvel. A lot of Avengers again. Conan from one of Marvel's runs. I think that's really cool with like Moon Knight. Is that Dark Agnes or something like that? But just Moon Knight. Spider-Man, End of Spider-Verse. More Avengers. An Immortal Batman issue. This was part of one of the first lots that I showed you on our first video. I think there's now basically, from that first lot that I showed you, I want to say that there is a duplicate of this left and Strike Force left. And maybe the Doctor Who one, and that's it. But yeah, you'll see, like it says, Avengers. And then Iron Fist, gone. Captain Marvel, Fantastic Four. I mean, I've literally listed Fantastic Four and it's disappeared as quickly as I've listed it. So we definitely need to push to get more Fantastic Four. The Eternal Skrull variant, Black Panther, some Uncanny X-Men issues, quite a few of them. You know, we've got even more Avengers. It's like this guy knows something I don't about this Avengers run. X-Force. Some West Coast Avengers. Here we go, there's some Captain America. Quite modern runs. More Avengers. Literally, there's... Is it just... No. You know, like, if I had it, he took it. Captain Marvel Dark Tempest design variant. That's nice. And this is what, again, this was some Avengers listings. And I want to say these were some of my oldest listings I had, and he took them all. So it was definitely worth doing that deal. I'm going to get that packaged up today. And yeah. So that was our sales. You heard me blather my opinion on stuff. Next, I'm going to take a break over the weekend. I've decided I'm just going to try post Monday to Friday. Then basically... give the weekend to myself. I'll still be listing. I'll still be selling. So on Monday you'll get the catch up from the weekend. Then we'll squeeze in the Forbidden Planet stuff should be coming over the weekend. So we'll see what's in those grab bags. I kind of liked having a little discussion one about something that was just comic related. So I might fit another video like that in the week. But I mean, you guys let me know. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on the physical digital debate in all media. I want to hear it for films, I want to hear it for music, I want to hear it for books, I want to hear it for comics. And we know where most people are at with games, but I just want to hear it anyway. But yeah, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.